chose Harriet Tubman. I wanted to study someone who saved lives. It's possible she might replace Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill. Here's a picture of her if she does. I wanted to know more about her life. Harriet's background. Born as Araminta Harriet Ross on March 15, 1822, as a slave. Born on a plantation in Bucktown, Maryland, MD. Her grandparents were brought from West Africa on a slave ship and sold to the plantation owners. I think it was in Maryland. Once a slave, all family members were destined to be slaves too. Once a slave, all family members were slaves too. Oh, I already read that. As slaves, they worked very hard in poor conditions and got badly beaten. Harriet died a free woman on March 10, 1913, just shy of her 94th birthday. What states allowed slavery? In the mid-1800s, there were 15 states that allowed slavery, including Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, Arkansas, North and South Carolina, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Maryland, and Delaware. As you can see from the map here, but it's really blurry, the slave states are brown and the free states are green. And these states are one that's open to both. At age 5, Harriet was a babysitter to the plantation owner's baby. By age 12, she started working out on the fields. When she was 13, she tried to help another slave and was hit in the head with a 2-pound weight. She nearly died. This caused her to suffer from narcolepsy, a condition that caused her sleepiness. She made her great escape to Pennsylvania at the age of 27. Harriet was helped to her freedom by the Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad was a network of people that did not believe in slavery, and they provided safe houses, food, and passages to the slaves looking for their freedom. And it isn't a railroad that's underground. It isn't a railroad. There is no trains. It's just a code name so that slave hunters, they didn't know where to find the houses and how slaves lived there. She devoted herself to the Underground Railroad and to freeing other slaves. She made 19 trips back to Maryland and freed over 300 slaves, earning her the nickname Moses, and the most wanted dead or alive slave. And all of that was before the Civil War. In all of her journeys, she never lost a single passenger. Harriet's life after freedom. In November 1860, Abraham Lincoln was elected president and he wanted to end slavery. The Southern states formed another country called the Confederate States of America and went to war with the Northern states, also known as the Union States. This war was known as the Civil War. It started in 1861 and went to 1865. Harriet worked as a cook, spy, nurse, scout, and general during the Civil War for the Union. She was not paid. She sold root beer, pies, and gingerbread to earn money. Some of Harriet's traits during the war included courage, leadership, inventiveness, giving, determination, and caring. After the war, Harriet fought for women's rights. She also set up a home for the elderly in Auburn, New York. She remarried in 1870 to Nelson Davis and adopted a child, a younger daughter named Gertie. Harriet died in 1913 of pneumonia. Harriet's legacy. I consider Harriet Tubman a heroine because she helped to free slaves. She fought to end slavery in the Civil War. She fought for women's rights, and she helped the elderly by providing a home and caring for them. In 1978, Harriet was honored by the USPS, United States Postal Service, who printed a postage stamp in memory of her and all the work she did. I hope to see her remembered on the $20 bill in 2020. A poll this spring of 600,000 votes placed Harriet Tubman as the leading choice, followed by Eleanor Roosevelt, Rosa Parks, and Wilma Mansfield. And a quote Harriet Tubman said was, "I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves." Learning about Harriet Tubman makes me want to help others. It teaches me to be brave and stand up for what is right. I want to show leadership, honesty, and courage in all that I do. It's better to be a lion for a day than a sheep all your life. Oh yeah, and on this slide, this stamp right here, it's a first day of issue stamp. My dad bought it on eBay and it's right here. Wow. There's only 100 of them in the world, so I want you to be very careful with it and don't bend it, please. While that's going around, questions? Brandon? No, she isn't yet. But if she comes first place in a voting thing, then she will be in 2020. Any other questions? Zachary? Yes. Well, I wouldn't say she fought, just she helped the Union a lot. I feel without her, there would still be slavery right now. Jade?
Why did she spy for the Union?
Like, since she was a slave herself, she went down to the southern states and worked as a slave. She hid and knew, and this is where scouting comes in. She found the locations that where all the important food and water is, and she spied on them to see their actions, and then they reported back, and she reported back to the Union. And when the Union destroyed all their crops and made the water dirty, that's what made the southern states one of the reasons why they wanted to give up. Any other questions? Okay. Compliments? Chen. Thank you. Sid?
I like how you want to speak in practice.
Zachary?
I like how you explain clearly. I put a lot of effort.
Forgot? Thank you. Sasha?
I like that you brought like the real usage there.
Krishna?
I like how you were explaining and really expressing what she did, and without her, what consequences you would face.
Well done. Round of applause for Conor.
By the way, who hasn't had the chance to have the stamp? Raise your hand if you did. Okay, so only Sarah, and then it was have it back. Thanks.
Can I see it?